This is John Hatcher with the Blues Guitar Institute, and this is your Tuesday Blues lesson number 9. Okay, so when we're playing the blues, if we're doing a blues fingerpicking thing in the key of A, at some point, probably bar 5, we're going to move into our 4 chord, which is the D chord. And if you're playing this A7 type sound, it sort of sounds a little off to go and play a regular D major chord, because it's really kind of happy sounding and just altogether major sounding. What we really need to do is introduce and match the tension of this A7, which if you haven't caught this way to play the A7, go back and check out Tuesday Blues lesson 1 and 2. But anyway, to match that sort of tonality, we're going to play a D7. So instead of this D major, we can fret up a D7, which I'm playing that by the open 4th string, and then the 2nd fret on the 3rd string, 1st fret on the 2nd string, and then 2nd fret on the 1st string. But the thing is, like, you go from thumping this kind of A7 thing, it's really chunky, right? Because we got that nice low A bass note. Now watch what happens when I flip over into my D7 and use the same technique. You know, it's not that bad, and this is just a silly little thing to let you hear the bass. But the fact is that the bass is really like lost, because this note is not all that low. It's kind of sure, it's a bass string. It's one of the 3 lower strings on the guitar, so I guess it puts it more right in the mid-range of the guitar. But when we're playing finger-picking blues, you got to keep the bass alive. And a great way to do that is to play this version of a D7. Just fret up the regular D7 that we just went over, but hook your thumb over the fretboard right here and fret down. I kind of hit the meaty middle part of my thumb, and I push down on the 6th string. If you've never done this, it's going to seem a little bit weird, and it definitely was weird for me at first. But I find this very, very handy when I'm pumping out some blues. And here's the reason. Remember, we were playing this deal here, just chunking around on this D7. Now listen to it if I throw this bass in here. You really get this low end thumping out, and it matches the A thump a little better. So I really encourage you to try and get that chord down. And let me show you one alternative to using your thumb. Although I really recommend using your thumb, but if you can't use your thumb, you're going to need to use some other fingers. And I've seen this done a lot of different ways, but here's probably the most common alternative for that. You use your middle finger to hit that low note on the 6th string, and then you fret up the rest of the D7 like this. I've got my ring finger on the 2nd fret of the 3rd string, still got my 1st finger here on the 1st fret, 2nd string, and then my pinky is catching the 2nd fret on the 1st string. So you get the same notes there. It's just another way to play it, and you may see me play it this way just depending on the situation, but a lot of times I really love to go to this this sort of shape here. And there's a lot of reasons, because you know, when I have my fingers here in this position, it just feels more natural, just like a natural D7. But then there's also, you know, my pinky can reach up and catch some other notes here. So it just gives me a little more freedom. So I really encourage you to try this, but again, this version will certainly work. Alright, so let's go over a little example lick. And then we're going to tie this back to what we learned in lesson 2, I believe, where we did the A7 chordy lick. So let's do a D7 chordy lick. Here we go. that's it. Now the real trick to this is, using this alternate D7 shape with this F sharp on the 6th string in the bass, and then I'm doing my alternating picking here between the 6th string and the 4th string, which is certainly going to take some time to get used to if you're new to finger picking, but definitely work on it. This is a good, skipping that string, that 5th string, all the way from the 6 to the 4, just really takes a lot of control in your thumb. So just sit there for hours on end if you have to just get this going in a good rhythm. I certainly did it, and I annoyed everyone around me, including myself, but you need to be able to do this to where you can just carry on a conversation and the notes still click off, let's say right along with the metronome, right in time. All right, so we do that throughout, and then there's a really simple melody that's only 4 notes that comes into play. That's it. So the notes in the melody are starting with the 1st string, which is at the 2nd fret here. You're just holding down that D7, then still holding down the D7 to the 2nd string, then open 1st string, and then down on the 2nd fret. So open 2nd, all on the 1st string. Alright, now let's link this together with the A7 chordy lick. I'm going to play a full 4 bars on the A7 and then 2 bars on the D7. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I just came back and finished up with the A7 chordy lick. So I hope you can see just how that really fits nicely together. Alright gang, so there you go. That's lesson 9 for Tuesday Blues. And I really encourage you to go back and check out lesson 2 to get the A7 chordy lick down if you haven't already, because these two just sort of merge really nicely together. And all we need to do is throw something cool to do in the E chord of this progression, and you'll be well on your way to playing a nice 12-bar finger picking blues in the key of A. And that's where we're headed, so stay tuned. And don't forget that if you have some lesson or technique or something that you've been struggling with on the guitar that you'd like to see covered here on the Tuesday Blues Show, just send me an email at tuesday@bluesguitarinstitute.com, and we'll see what we can do to help you out. Thanks, and stay tuned. I'll see you in lesson 10.